Welcome, everyone. I'm super excited to get started with today's masterclass, Crush Your Cravings and Overcoming Late Night Snacking. My name is Sue-Ann Hickey. I'm a naturopath, and I am living just west of Montreal. So I will start by sharing my screen, and we will jump in today's training. All right. Get going, and here we are. All right, let's get started. So I am very passionate about helping women, especially in perimenopause and menopause, learn how to easily drop the pounds they want to, and most importantly, be healthy and be healthy at any age. So this is a picture of the 4 body types, which we will be talking a little bit about a little bit later on, because knowing how to eat right for your body type is also key in helping you overcome your cravings and know where they come from. So I am a naturopath. And what is a naturopath for those that are not familiar with what's the difference between a nutritionist or a naturopath, dietitian, things like that? Usually a dietitian or a nutritionist just looks at nutrition only. But as a naturopath, we look at everything that is going on. We look at your hormonal balance. We look at your digestive system, your stress management, emotionally, everything in the body that can be hindering your, being healthy or dropping the pounds you want to. As a naturopath, I play the detective, and I want to know why, like what is causing whatever is going on. So today we are going to dive into all the different reasons of why you could be having cravings, whether physical, emotional, anything like that. And we're going to give you tons of tips of how to overcome them. So let's dive in. So what we're going to be covering today is, number 1, your physical causes of cravings, and especially those things that you would not think of. They're also covering today 3 steps to stop your sugar cravings, because there are 3 things you can do that will really help. We're going to dive into, as I said, looking at whether cravings are emotional or they could be from nutritional deficiencies. So many people don't understand that. We're going to be looking at physical hunger versus emotional hunger. And all of these things will also help you overcome your late night snacking. So a little bit about my background. I'm the youngest of 5. That's a picture my friend photoshopped. No, we're not in the same car. I'm in the middle, and yes, I had a pretty healthy lifestyle, running around trying to keep up with my 4 older siblings. And that's the top picture, kind of aging me. I am no spring chicken. And about 50 years later, with my siblings in the same car, photoshopped in. So I was interested in healthy living from an early age. On the left is a picture of me. I think I'm about 11 or 12 years old. And I did this extra project at school where we had to do a project about the body systems or the health in general. So I did a project about the body systems, and I won a 3rd prize there. So I was back in the day when I was interested in everything to do with health. But, I got sidetracked over the years. The middle picture is when I was in the sorority in university, and I really went through my party years, drinking a lot of alcohol and smoking pot and thinking that it was normal. But in retrospect, I was probably numbing my feelings, right? Because often we have not the perfect childhood. I don't know about you. My childhood was not perfect. My dad left and came back many times. There was a lot of sadness and things that went on. So during that time in university and afterwards, I was drinking, because some of us use different methods to numb our feelings, right? It might be food, it might be alcohol, shopping, scrolling on social media. And we'll look at that a little bit as we go along, emotional triggers. And after many years of learning the lessons of how to not choose the wrong kind of guy, because that was my lesson to learn, I finally met the man of my dreams and have been together 5 years. We are now engaged, so very happy. All right, so back in the day, I started practicing yoga, and that helped me kind of break free from this pattern that I was in of using alcohol and pot to numb my feelings, that kind of set me off on a new path of learning everything I could to heal myself from the inside out. I set off on an around the world spiritual journey. This is in southern India, doing my yoga teacher's training course. And I traveled around the world for a year and a half. It was kind of eat, pray, love, Canadian style, learning everything I could, as I said, to help myself heal all of the emotions that were underneath. I taught yoga for 24 years, part-time, just loved helping people feel better. And after a while, I wanted to do something more. I wanted to help people more. At the time, I was vegetarian, and I really believed that a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet that we can eat for ourselves and our planet. However, for many people, eating vegetarian does not give them enough protein. It works well for some body types, but for me, I found it challenging to get enough protein. So I was always hungry. I was eating all the time, and I was like hypoglycemic, right? So my blood sugar rather, would be going up and down all day long. And believe me, when that happens, your mood swings are following, right? Up and down mood swings. I was snacking nonstop, reaching for carbs and sugar. I had eczema on my hands for over 20 years, and I had no energy. I would yawn every afternoon for half an hour. I had no stamina. I was at the time, I had started cycling with a cycling club, and I just could not keep up. Every afternoon, as I said, I would be crashing, and my complexion was also like white as a ghost. I had no color in my cheeks. So I was having a hard time. But when I started taking my classes to be a naturopath, I started learning everything that I needed to do to help myself get rid of my cravings for sweets and carbs, feel better, more balanced. And I became one of the fastest women in the cycling club after a few years. And I've also, as my practice as a naturopath, helped hundreds of women drop the pounds and completely transform their lives and their health by healing their ailments naturally. Because I really believe that when we give the body the right tools at the right time, it has a natural ability to heal. So that's what we're looking at today. What's the cause of what is going on, and how can we help your body heal so that you can be more balanced and cravings can become a thing of the past? Right. So I think we just skipped a couple of slides ahead. No, we're good. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to look at some of the physical causes of cravings, like what is going on physically that we might not think about. So our digestion should go by unnoticed. So what do I mean by that? When you eat things, some people might experience a lot of gas or a lot of bloating, or they get really, really tired after they eat. Some people might suffer from Crohn's, IBS, colitis, different inflammatory conditions of the digestive system. And when that is going on, when your digestive system is not working as it should, then you are not absorbing the nutrients that you need to for your body to be nourished and satisfied. So it's really important to help your gut heal from the inside out, right? Whether that means for some, they might need to take probiotics, or they might need to learn how to reduce the inflammation in their gut. One thing to note is the digestive system and nervous system go hand in hand. So if you do have inflammatory conditions in your digestive system, it's super important for you to learn how to better manage your stress, because I've seen that so many times that some clients suffer from digestive ailments, and helping heal their stress is really helpful. So getting adequate sleep, that's something that more people are becoming aware of. What happens when we are lacking in sleep, the direct correlation it plays on weight gain, on cravings. So when we lack sleep, there's some things that happen. Number one, your leptin is dysregulated, right? So leptin is the hormone that helps keep you full. So helps you have the feeling of being full. So when the leptin is dysregulated, then you don't feel as full. The other thing is ghrelin. The ghrelin hormone is the hormone that helps keep you, that when you know when you're hungry or not. So that gets completely dysregulated as well. Also, insulin resistance comes up when we don't sleep well enough. So all these things will affect your metabolism, will affect you having higher cravings for sweets, salty and fat. So not getting enough sleep is really a key challenge for those and will exacerbate, obviously, your cravings will get way higher. Stress, of course, we see this all the time, how stress increases so many conditions in the body that makes a lot of ailments worse. And it also increases cortisol. Again, cortisol. So cortisol, when we are stressed, we have our adrenal glands and they will secrete cortisol when our stress levels go up. If our stress levels stay up, like happens for so many of us, then the cortisol will be secreting all the time, and eventually our adrenal glands will be getting tired and we can go towards burnout. So when I work with my clients, the main thing I ask them is, how do you manage your stress? So if I asked you that question, what would be your answer? And I've heard answers like, well, I yell at my kids, or, well, I drink alcohol, or I eat. Why do you think I hired you? But kidding aside, we really need to come up with a whole list of things that we can do in order to better manage our stress, because stress is not going to go away, right? In 2024, there are so many things that will send our stress through the roof. So what things can you do to help yourself, whether it's going for a walk, or for many people, exercising helps. Some people take yoga or do meditation, calling a friend, focusing on your faith, having essential oils around, using essential oils. You have to find ways to manage your stress cycle, because without that, yes, your cortisol levels will be very high, your adrenal glands will be getting weak. So some things that are very important for the adrenal glands are vitamin C. So increasing foods that have vitamin C or taking vitamin C is really helpful. And also we need rest. The adrenal glands need rest. So finding things that better manage your stress is key, because when we have increased cortisol, we have increased cravings for sure. Hormonal imbalance is another thing that some people do recognize increases cravings. Of course, we have all had PMS sweet cravings, because when estrogen is low, our sweet cravings go up. So to balance your hormones, there are so many different things to do, and that will be coming up in a future masterclass all about sailing through menopause and PMS symptom-free. So, when I was taking my class to be a naturopath, and my teacher told us, if you do all the things, a healthy diet and exercise and manage your stress, and as much as you can do, you can sail through menopause and you won't have any symptoms. And I'm like, great, I'm on it. I'm doing so many of these good things. I will be fine. And then when I started going through menopause, I had hot flashes. I'm like, wait, you lied to me. Why am I having these hot flashes? This is not supposed to happen. So yes, probably 80% or more of women do experience hot flashes. I would say probably 90% or more. And some symptoms of menopause, or obviously some symptoms of PMS. But again, coming back to the basics of healthy eating, healthy diet, healthy lifestyle will help. And some things that most people don't realize for menopause is that when the ovaries start producing less estrogen, what happens is the adrenal glands and the liver have to take up the slack to help balance the hormones. So if you can help your adrenal glands, which is what we just talked about, vitamin C, making sure you're managing your stress and getting enough rest. And for the liver, there are many things that can help the liver, such as eating way more dark leafy greens, especially bitter greens, reducing alcohol, reducing fatty and fried foods, reducing your exposure to chemicals and things like that. When you help the liver and adrenal glands, that will help the hormones in turn. So that will reduce your hormonal cravings. And for PMS cravings, a simple thing that you can do is to take a very good quality complex B vitamin and you combine that with vitamin B6. Now, the vitamin B6, you only need to take it the second 2 weeks of your period. You don't have to take it all month long. So the complex B vitamin is such a great vitamin, which nourishes the nervous system, is helpful in so many different ways. And then adding in the B6, like 2 weeks before your period, that will be a game changer for helping your PMS cravings. So always buy vitamins from a really good source, from either the health food store. I love a company called Nature's Sunshine. They're in US and Canada. So using those vitamins can help your PMS cravings. Now, another way of having cravings that many people don't know about is different ailments that the body can be having, such as Candida, also known as Candida albicans. So what is this? So if you have taken antibiotics repeatedly in your lifetime, then what happens is we need those antibiotics. They wipe out the bad bacteria, but they also wipe out the good bacteria. And we always have a little bit of yeast in the intestines, in the digestive tract, and that's normal. But when the antibiotics wipe out all the good and bad bacteria, the yeast takes over a little bit too much space and it stays there. And having too much yeast in the gut can cause different symptoms called candida. So what are some of the symptoms? Sweet and carb cravings can be through the roof. And I tell my clients, it's not even you, it's the candida that wants to be fed. You might have bloating, especially when you do eat the sweets or wheat and things like that. You might feel like you have a foggy brain, that you can't really think straight sometimes. Fatigue is a big symptom I see all the time. Energy levels really low, because our energy levels should be up here all day, every day, no matter what age we are. Depression can happen with candida. A lot of intestinal gas can be there. So if you're checking off yes to many of these symptoms, chances are you could have candida. And I invite you, if you want, just message me. I'd be happy to help you out with a protocol. It does entail following a pretty strict diet for a few months and taking the supplements to kill off the candida, but you can completely get rid of it. I've helped dozens of women completely get candida out of their system, myself included. And just note, if you go online and try and search for candida, you will see thousands of different protocols from thousands of different people. Not all of them work. If you want help, please, by all means, reach out to me. Don't go with someone on the internet who might not have the expertise that someone like myself does. So if you ask your question, ask this question, how do you feel when a meal is delayed? Some people might say, I feel fine. I'm just hungry. It doesn't matter if a meal is delayed for a few hours or something like that. Others will say, no, if a meal is delayed, I will not feel okay. It's called hypoglycemia, which means low blood sugar. So if you get hangry, that would be me. I need to eat my meals on time, or my irritation just goes up higher and higher. My fiance will let you know that that's true. So we get the hangry. Some people only have this symptom because the blood sugar affects the brain as well. Other people might have physical symptoms of hypoglycemia: trembling, shaky, headache, dizzy, brain fog, irritable, feeling faint, can't think straight. If you have hypoglycemia, this could be a precursor to prediabetes and diabetes. So it is key to help make sure that you balance your blood sugar as much as possible. So hypoglycemia will increase your cravings, usually for sweets, because when our blood sugar drops, we want sweets. So that's not what you want to use. You want to use things like protein. You will need protein for breakfast, protein for lunch, protein for dinner, protein snacks to keep your blood sugar balanced all day long. All right, so let's dive into our next little topic about how your body type affects your cravings. This is a picture of the 4 body types. And number one thing that people get thrown off of is like, oh, thyroid. Well, I have hypothyroid, therefore I must be thyroid type. That's not the way it works. So you can be hypothyroid and have hypothyroidism and be any of the 4 body types. The way you figure out your dominant gland is we all have a dominant gland, and that affects our energy levels, our cravings, our places where we gain weight on the body, different ailments that we're most prone to. All these different things are affected. So the dominant gland determines your type, can be any of these. For the gonad is for the woman only, and that has to do with the ovaries. Now these glands, when it's your dominant gland, it's working harder than the others, and the others are trying to catch up, which creates an imbalance. And when you start eating the right foods at the right time for your body type, your dominant gland calms down and your other glands get stronger, and that creates a balance from the inside out. So this is amazing for me. It completely transformed my health and my life. When I learned how to eat right for my body type, I felt so much better. I became, as I said, so much stronger. All my ailments went away. So the way it kind of works is, say you're kind of slow in the morning, takes you a while to get going, maybe you're up and at 'em to get the kids out the door, but given the choice on the weekend, it's like, I need to just take things slowly. That could indicate that your metabolism is also slow in the morning. So a small light breakfast could be perfect for you, medium to light lunch, and then dinner is the main meal of the day, as that is when your metabolism is highest, and that's when you're going to burn off the calories most easily. So some people try to do the complete opposite. They think, oh, everyone says I need a big breakfast. They're eating a big breakfast, which if you're an adrenal type, that could trigger you to be hungrier all day long. They're trying to eat a small dinner and they're hungry all night and craving snacks and wondering why it's not working. So each of the 4 body types has its own particular plan that works amazing for each body type to help keep you balanced and satisfied all day long. As I said, for me, completely transformed my health and my life across the board. So let's go into each one. So first, the pear-shaped, that's also known as the gonad type. They tend to gain weight a little bit more, lower body, and they can be the motherly caregiving types. They will crave things like cream, peanut butter, creamy sauces, spicy foods. They like fattier fried foods, usually a little bit more salty given the choice, but sometimes sweets as well, especially if they have some hypoglycemia going on, which is often the case. And their cravings often happen at night after dinner. Why is that? Because the gonad type is the motherly caregiving type. They love to take care of others, their kids, their pets, their work, their spouse, their friends, their parents. And they do that all day long. So by the end of the night, they're completely depleted and they need affection. They need to fill their own cup. And often, instead of doing that, they tend to feel depleted, so they reach for the cravings. Now, this is key to know. If you are pear-shaped, then know, okay, at night, how can I fill my own cup? How can I make myself feel better that doesn't result in reaching for food, right? So give it a try. If you're a gonad type, it can be a complete game changer for you. So many of my clients are like, oh, that makes so much sense. I totally do that. All right, next type is a thyroid type. They tend to be slim and tall. They can gain weight a little around the middle, so like a spare tire. I am a thyroid type, so yes, sweets and stimulants are my downfall. Before I learned how to eat for my body type, it was carbs and sugar and cereal and bread and more carbs and sandwiches. And that was, as I said, sending me on the hypoglycemic roller coaster, spiking myself up all day long. So we can like sugar, chocolate, carbs, tea, fruits, things like that. And as I mentioned before, the most important thing for the thyroid type, protein for breakfast. So whether that's 2 eggs or Greek yogurt with extra things in it, like a protein shake mid-morning with extra protein powder in it. like lots of protein, lunch and dinner to help keep us balanced. That makes the sweet cravings go way down. Next is a pituitary type. Now you might think, I think I'm a pituitary type because I tend to gain weight a little bit all over, but wait, there are very few pituitary types. It's extremely rare. So if you do have some weight to lose, check, when you first started gaining weight, was it more upper body? That might be adrenal type, or lower body? That might be gonad type. So the cravings for them include dairy, creamy sauces, ice cream, which they crave throughout the day. They need a very big breakfast and a very small dinner to keep themselves balanced. And finally, the adrenal type. These are the strongest of all four types. They are very social and jovial. They can be the life of the party, although some of them are introverted. They tend to have broad shoulders, large chest. Think like Oprah, that type of strong build, strong determination, ready to take on the world, literally. And they can say, I just love food. And they do. So portion control can be a challenge for them. And again, knowing that is key for the adrenal body type, because when you know that, okay, I need to reduce my portions, so I'm going to serve myself just this amount. I'm going to put the food away. Not going to allow myself to get seconds. That's key for your body type at dinner, especially. And then stress management is the other very high key factor, because the adrenal type, they tend to internalize their stress. So they might have, a calm exterior on the outside, but inside there's that underlying stress that's constantly going on. So they really need to stop burning the candle at both ends and pushing themselves and pushing themselves. They need to rest. They need to learn to find outlets for their stress. And that will be also key for them to learn to not manage their stress by reaching for food, right? As I mentioned before, find ways to help yourself relax that doesn't involve food. That will be key to help you overcome your cravings. The adrenal type cravings are usually more salty. They like chips. They can like things if they eat meat, hamburgers or cold cuts or French fries. And alcohol also can be a trigger for my adrenal type, so they need to be careful not to eat too much big portions and not too much alcohol. So some of the symptoms that you could be sugar sensitive, depression, right? That spike again, up and down, energy highs and lows, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde personality. We see that in kids, right? Give kids sugar and candy that has food coloring in it. They're like off the charts aggressive, and it's really crazy. So it can be impulsive, short attention span, reactive, scattered, and craving the carbs as well. So now what a lot of articles I read, it's like, oh, if you have sweet cravings, just eat fruit instead. But wait, someone that has sweet cravings that are through the roof, that are really off the charts, yes, fruit is healthy for sure. However, if you're eating a lot of fruits, then you're still keeping your glycemic levels up a little bit too high. So I have way better things for you to do. Here's our 3 top tips in order to reduce your sweet cravings. Number 1, as we've been mentioning, eat more protein, especially at breakfast. This is key for especially the thyroid body type, as I mentioned, because if you start your day with a Danish or a pastry, you're already spiking your glycemic levels, and it's, light, fluffy Danish with no calories, nothing that's going to nourish your body. You'll be hungry an hour later. You'll be reaching for something else, a coffee with sugar in it, and you'll set yourself up for this hypoglycemic roller coaster all day long. So more protein, especially at breakfast, will help you balance your sugar cravings throughout the day. Drinking more water is something that many people don't think of, which can really, really help. And I know that firsthand. Increasing my water intake really helped me reduce my sweet cravings so much. And finally, reduce sweets. I know it's hard, but we know that sugar affects the brain like opium, right? It is 100% an addiction. And the more we eat it, the more we crave it, and then we crave it more. When we go through the holidays, usually I make cookies, and once they're gone, I'm like, oh, aren't there any cookies left? Because I'm used to having those cookies and I want more. So we have to tell ourselves The party's over. It's time to go back to eating healthier food, cut back down on the cookies. Now, physical hunger versus emotional hunger. How do we tell the difference and how do we unpack all of this? So physical cravings can be happening because of nutritional deficiencies. So this is another fact that people don't really realize. We need healthy fats in order to lose weight and also reduce our cravings for fat. So where do we get our healthy fats? From foods such as salmon, mackerel, fatty fish like sardines and anchovies, avocados, our healthy nuts like walnuts, and a lot of our seeds contain great healthy fats like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds. So when you increase all these delicious healthy fats, you won't be craving fats as much because you're nourishing your body with the nutrients it needs. Key. Celery, if you're craving salt, guess what? Celery is super high in organic sodium. So having some celery as snacks before a meal with hummus or another healthy dip can be really, really helpful for you to decrease your salt cravings. And also, it's one of the foods highest in digestive enzymes, so it can help your digestive system, especially when you have it before a meal. We all need some salt, right? Some people, they find their blood pressure is going up and they try and completely cut out all salt, but our bodies are salty, right? So we need some salt. So I invite you to try to find sun-dried sea salt from Brittany, France. It might be called Celtic sea salt. It is light gray in color. It is moist, so you cannot put it in the salt shaker, but keep it in a little container, have some pinches of it, put it in your cooking, and that will help you reduce your salt cravings as well by getting in good quality salt. Now, emotional cravings, how do we overcome those, right? I always tell my clients and the women in my membership that our thoughts are about 99% of the work that we do in order to achieve our goals, because it's our thoughts that create our habits, and our thoughts create our emotions and create the habits that we do. So in order to change that, we need to change our thoughts and work on our mindset. So you can ask yourself these questions, if you do want to figure out if you are emotional eating or not. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. In general, of course, we all do some emotional eating at some point, right? Myself included. When we feel bad, I mean, we're brought up when we're young that food is comfort, right? Our mothers give us this food and that's going to comfort us. And so we can continue doing that of trying to find comfort from food instead of finding better ways to comfort ourselves. So if your food hunger comes on quickly, you feel a desperate need to eat something right away. I don't need to read all of these, but you might feel powerless with your desire to eat certain foods and feeling guilty after. All of these things could be showing you that you have some emotional eating going on. Boredom, right? I've had some clients that are maybe a bit older, and at night they find themselves sitting on the couch with their husband and he's eating unhealthy snacks, so they are as well. And if you're feeling bored, it might be here to tell you something. Do you miss someone or something? Maybe you hunger for a greater degree of satisfaction than you now possess. So it could be signaling you to do something that you love, like find a habit that you love, find a pastime that you love, and get together with friends and do something that will give you pleasure. So if food does make you happy, what a powerful narcotic it has become. So true. And it's easier, in quotations, for people that might be using other ways of numbing, like drugs or alcohol. We can take those away, but we can never take away food. So it's harder for many to overcome our addiction to sweets or cravings that we're using to try and make ourselves feel better, because we need to eat every day. So how do you overcome this? Step number one would be to try to see the entire picture of what's going on. And I invite you to use an emotional eating food journal. And I will give that food journal out with the replay in an email. So the first step is awareness for any change we want to make. So you can keep track of, Thursday afternoon, my boss got angry for something I did and it triggered me right away. And I went and reached for the cookies and I was feeling angry and frustrated, and keep track of what emotions are there each time you want to reach for some unhealthy snacks. And you will probably see after a while a pattern of different foods that are different emotions rather that are triggering you to eat. So becoming aware is the first step to change. I don't know if you can relate to this picture. What the hell is that? Just my mind. I have a very overly active mind, and sometimes that happens at 3 o'clock in the morning. But usually our feelings are a protection from pain, and they can be no longer true or valid, but familiar. So often we're triggered by something that happened when we were young, right? And it can be completely unconscious, but we're being triggered again, and that's causing us to have cravings or reach for unhealthy foods. What we need to realize is that feelings come and go. I had a 19-year-old I was working with, and she was dating someone who was not a good choice for her. They ended up fighting a lot. And one week she came back to me, she said, we had another fight. I was so upset and angry. And I didn't eat, and I just sat with my feelings, and I realized that feelings come and go. Ah, hallelujah. If more of us could realize that feelings do come and go, we're not going to be stuck in this. We don't have to reach for something in order to stop that feeling. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel angry. Allow our feelings to be there, and they're not going to be there forever, and they will go without us having to try to not feel them. I invite you to try to also learn to respond rather than react. When someone triggers us again and again, we can have that knee-jerk reaction, right? We just completely lose it in a nanosecond. And then after we're like, oh my God, like it happens to me, right? Why did I just blow up so easily? So in the moment, can you take a millisecond, a second or two to breathe? And to recognize, okay, here's the situation, and ordinarily I would get really upset. How can I respond to the situation? How can I try to stay a little bit calmer, knowing that this is something that sets me off? Do some deep abdominal breathing, just do anything I can to help me respond rather than have this huge knee-jerk reaction. For me, how do I keep on eating as healthy as I do? How do I keep on choosing good, healthy foods and not the sweets that I crave? Because given a choice, I would just eat granola, cereal, and toast all day long. But I choose a lot of healthy, fresh foods, tons of vegetables. I love to cook. That's a bonus for me. But it always comes back to how I want to feel and how I want to live. I love having tons of energy to do all the things that I enjoy now that my hypoglycemia is pretty well a thing of the past, and I feel so much better eating right for my body type. I'm able to partake in all kinds of activities. This was in March. We went to Brazil, and we went on a 8 mile, about a 12-kilometer hike up to this amazing lookout. And it was a spectacular day. And I just feel so blessed that I can be living the life that I dream of at my age and doing all of the things I love without no holds barred, right? And I think that's true for any of us. If we keep keep on doing things to keep ourselves healthy, we can do anything we want. We don't have to buy into the thought that it's normal as I get old that I won't be able to do things and I'll have to, take more medication and it's going to be a downhill battle and all the things from menopause are going to make me gain weight. No, false. It doesn't have to be that way. You have to think of the benefits of eating healthy and avoiding the sweets and the unhealthy snacks. Number one, for sugar, it ages the skin incredibly. So, having beautiful skin usually comes from the inside out, not from the skin lotions and things that we put on our face. Another thing is refined sugar increases cortisol, as we mentioned before. Also, lack of sleep increases cortisol, and cortisol is an age-inducing hormone. So if you start your day with sugar cereal looking like this, you will be aging yourself prematurely and all the other detriments of sugar. So if you can start to, find pleasurable activities that you love to do and do them with friends, or just have more joy in your life and start reducing that negative self-talk, that will have a huge impact on how you feel. Often we're our own worst critics, right? That little negative voice can be loud and clear so often, and we have to catch it and become aware and start switching it to positive self-praise in order to help ourselves feel better and not be putting ourselves down, talking to ourselves as if we were talking to our best friend. I think that life is a healing journey towards self-love. I think that most people walking on planet Earth should be walking around with a little sign that says, I don't feel worthy, or I don't feel good enough. And we're always comparing ourselves to others, myself included. Like, how come I've been, having this naturopath business for a long time, and I have the best program on the planet. I should be a multimillionaire. How come that person is, and we start the spiral of, why does she have this and why do they, how can I? And so we constantly have to be aware of our things that we're telling ourselves and come back to self-love, come back to recognizing all the things that we need to learn on our path. And when we get the lessons and we understand our journey and we understand the lesson we needed to learn, we kind of get the check mark, and then we go on to the next lesson we need to learn. Another tip that, of course, maybe can be obvious for some, maybe not for others, is not having the indulgent food in the house, right? I know for me, if I make cookies, they have to be, whoever I'm making them for needs to take them away, or I will eat all of them until I don't feel well. Chips, again, when I moved in with my fiance back in the day, he had chips around. I'm like, you need to hide those, because if I know where they are, I will eat all of them. So keep indulgent food away, or they will be calling your name in the middle of the night. I was asking someone in my membership recently, she's like, oh, the chips, I can't stop eating them. I'm like, who's buying them? And she's like, what do you mean? Of course I'm buying them, because maybe it was her husband buying them, but she was. So I'm like, okay, can you not buy chips, or only have, we're always going to have our deviations. It's normal. It's a part of life. We're not going to deprive ourselves completely, but save them for special occasions. And that will be the key to your long-term success. The more you eat nutritionally dense foods, the more you nourish your body, the less hungry you will feel. So that's key. Again, having lots of vegetables, fruits, and good carbs, such as brown rice, quinoa, potatoes, sweet potatoes, seeds, nuts, all these delicious nutrient-dense foods. As I was just mentioning, don't diet or deprive yourself. Find a healthy way of eating that you can sustain long-term. By eating right for your body type, that is a way that will help keep you satisfied, not hungry, reduce your cravings, and you can follow it easily for the rest of your life. This is Anna. She is a medical doctor living in Spain, actually, and I work with her, and she ended up losing 20 pounds. She is an adrenal body type, and as I mentioned earlier, she was one of my clients who was eating a really big breakfast, medium lunch, and a small dinner, and then hungry all night long. And when we switched that for eating right for her adrenal body type, small breakfast, bigger dinner, she easily dropped the 20 pounds and never looked back. This is Lesia, who dropped 36 pounds, a gonad type. She actually was a mother of 4 kids with a lot of challenges, and she had a lot on her plate. She just didn't have time to exercise, and she didn't, but she still lost the pounds by following her body type plan and felt so good about it. I think that our health is the most precious gift that we have. And I think that the choices you make today affect your quality of life tomorrow. So I want you to know that you have two options. The first option is to try to figure it out on your own. You can take these tips and go off and implement them and try on your own. You might continue to get stuck. You might be struggling, feeling frustrated, deprived, and sabotaging your results. Or another option is to join my Body Typology membership. You will have a bonus one-on-one consultation with me when you join, and I will figure out your body type. We'll go over all of your ailments. I'll give you natural tips on how to heal them, and you'll get your personalized plan before joining the membership. And then you will easily be able to drop the pounds you want to and join a group of super motivated women to get the encouragement and support you need. So the membership is finally open. It usually is closed and they only open it every once in a while. So for less than $1 a day, you'll get bi-monthly meetings and the replays will be available. Membership Hub, I'm super proud of the hub that I've built. There's all kinds of really short little videos with all kinds of information, like some of the things we went over today and way more. You'll also get, as I said, you start off with your one-on-one evaluation with me. You get 3 onboarding calls. This is new. It's something that I'm just adding on for all the new members. So each week we'll be meeting and going over all the basics to make sure you get a jump start when you join in. You get my manual, cookbook, and food journal, the digital copies of them. And I'm also adding in a one-on-one check-in every 2 months. So you will get, meet with me one-on-one to see how you're doing and how far you've come in your membership journey. Because my whole raison d'etre, my whole reason to have the membership is to help you move along your path to health and invariably drop the pounds you want to. So today, and only today, I'm offering an early bird bonus, which is my Body Typology book, which will be coming out in a month or two, probably 2 months or so. And I will pay for shipping and the book, and I will send it to you. But that is only if you join the membership by tonight at midnight. So all of these total up to $515. And if you're in Canada, you can get insurance receipts. Now, the cost of my membership is only $30 US per month. So it's about $40 Canadian or $300 per year. If you want to sign up for a year, it's like getting 2 months for free. And I mean, this is a no-brainer for me. I don't know if it is for you, because as I said, you're getting like $500 worth of things and it's only $30 per month. And people ask, well, do I have to sign up for a minimum of a few months? No, absolutely not. You can join in after a month if you decide, this is great, but it's not for me. You can leave, no questions asked. But most of the members, for sure, they love the experience. They learn so much. They're dropping the pounds and they are asking me, can I switch over like to paying for a year because I know I want to stick around. So the doors are open to the membership only until this Wednesday, May the 8th at midnight. So you only have a few days to decide whether you're in or not. If you're saying, Sue-Ann, that's very nice, but the group thing, that's not for me. I really want one-on-one coaching. By all means, you can do one-on-one coaching with me. We start with an initial consultation, 12 weekly Zoom sessions. That includes 2 RTT sessions. So that stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy, which is a powerful modality to really overcome all of your emotional triggers. So those sessions take about 2 hours each. And all of this costs $1,497, which is 25% off. And again, this is only being offered until Wednesday night at midnight. So when you want to sign up for the membership, the link will be below in the email that I'm sending out, and you will be taken to the membership where the sign up page is. And when you click on the link, that will take you to this page where is the place to put in your payment. And as soon as you click on the button, you will get access to the membership hub. You will get your one-on-one boarding call, onboarding call rather, to book your session with me, and you will start getting all the tools to set you up for success. But The price is very low, as I said, $30 a month. So the price will be going up. I cannot guarantee that you will be able to keep this low price forever because I think I'm really over delivering for the price that I am charging. And I think the best investment you can ever make is to invest in your own health. This is a picture of my girlfriends and I. We go kayak camping every summer, a group of 6 or 8 of us in the misty morning. So it's so amazing to be able to enjoy life fully at any age, having the best health that you can. And so I invite you to join us, and I hope to see everyone on the inside. If anyone has any questions, you can let me know. If you're watching the replay, you can, and let me know any questions you have. I'd be happy to answer you. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.